I grew up as a sickly and timid child. At the age of 15, I eventually was diagnosed with type 1 or juvenile diabetes, an autoimmune disease that requires insulin shots to function normally. At a young age, I was oriented about the illness and was told about the possible complications that could arise. Because of this, I did my best to live a healthy lifestyle. I took care of myself, watched what I ate, and had no vices. I thought that doing all these and taking control of my body would help me live a normal, healthy life. Externally, I tried to stay strong, but internally, I was struggling with fear because I knew that anytime soon, my condition could only become worse. I got to know the Lord 22 years ago when my dad brought the entire family to CCF because of a friend of his who invited him to attend. At that time, our family was facing bankruptcy and we were left with nothing and no one else to turn to but the Lord. Ever since I heard and received the gospel, I actively attended Bible studies, retreats, church services, and had a D group because not only did these help me know Jesus Christ more, I was also able to grow alongside other Christians. Everything was going well until 2014. I noticed a lump on my head, which no doctor could diagnose, and was just prescribed with a lot of medicines. Soon after, I had episodes of vertigo and severe nausea, and was given even more medicines to take. Eventually, I noticed that my eyes started getting puffy and my legs started swelling up. I also started vomiting everything and anything I ate or drank, which resulted to drastically losing weight. In just 3 months, my kidney function went down from 91% to 12%. I was devastated and saddened about this and didn't understand why and how this was all happening. Just when I thought my condition couldn't get worse, while having dinner one evening with my family, I suddenly went blind. Yes, I lost my vision in both eyes. I was so terrified because everything just went completely black. I remember crying alone in my room that evening. No words could comfort me. I cried out to God. In that deep state of brokenness, I said to Him, Lord, if this is your will in my life, if you want to take away my health, including my sight, so be it. I don't feel I'll be worth anything anymore, but I will trust you and accept your perfect will for me. I woke up the next day with unexplainable peace. His presence was so strong as if all the fear had been removed from my heart. I was surprisingly full of joy despite being totally blind. Days after, I was rushed for an emergency dialysis because my body's toxicity levels were increasing from kidney failure. At the same time, the doctors also had to address my blindness. The doctors did not want to operate on my eyes for fear that it might just make my condition worse. But at that point, I told my family that I had nothing else to lose. I had already been blind for 4 months. Because of my persistence, the doctors finally agreed to perform the surgery. When the doctors removed the eye patches after the surgery, I opened my eyes and I still could not see. A part of me was saddened, but I was still hopeful. I did not stop believing that God would heal me one way or another. True enough, days passed and there was great improvement in my eyes. The doctors themselves were so surprised at the improvement because they didn't think my vision would ever be restored. My attending physician even told me that after seeing how God has healed me, she couldn't deny that there is truly a God who can heal. Praise God. I was so happy and grateful to be able to see again. Nevertheless, I still had my kidneys to deal with. I continued to undergo dialysis and tried to live a normal life. I had dialysis 3 times a week, 5 hours every session. I had my 8-hour job during the day, then proceeded to the dialysis center after. This went on for 2 years. Everything was manageable until my body started to deteriorate from dialysis. I became really weak that every activity became too tiring for me. One day, in my usual dialysis session, the attending doctor informed my dad in panic that I had gone on a flat line. He said that the nurse found me with my face blue and my blood pressure was down to 60/30. All my dad could do was pray to the Lord as they put a tube down my throat. Suddenly, I was in a coma and on life support in the ICU. From losing my sight to potentially losing my life, both Christian and non-Christian friends joined my family in prayer. I gained my consciousness back after 8 days, and in 12 days, I was able to go back home. My family was told that because my body was too fragile and no longer responded well to dialysis, a kidney transplant was needed as soon as possible. Our finances had been fully depleted at that point, and we could no longer afford it. But we knew that if we could trust God with my life, we can also trust Him for provision. After praying, God sent so many people who helped out with our financial needs. A lot of friends reached out, even people we didn't know. The Lord truly provided for our each and every need. Other than the finances, God also provided a kidney donor who was an exact match. In May 2017, by God's amazing grace, I underwent a successful kidney transplant. Praise God. All of these happened 2 years ago. I stand here before you as proof of our God's goodness and grace. I live because of the miracles He allowed to happen in my life. Who would have thought that I would be here, alive, well, and able to share of God's story in my life to all of you? Job 1:21 says, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." No matter how much we plan or try to be in control of our lives, it is only God who is in control of everything. There is nothing we can or cannot do when His power is at work. I am here to remind you that there is hope in the Lord. What is impossible for man is possible for God. Whatever it is you are dealing with, problems, illness, heartaches, helplessness, we must remember that we have a big God who is always in control. We just need to have faith in Him. Never doubt the power of the Lord in whatever circumstance. I am Andrea de Luzuriaga, once blind, sick, and almost dead, but now alive and well to testify about the one who deserves all the glory and praise.